Hi everyone, good morning. Today is the 8th day of October, is the 6th day of the Navratri, today being the Mahashashti, and today here I'm presenting you the panoramic view of the confluence point of the two rivers in the Ladakh region. Towards my left side you can see the greenish blue water of the Indus river, and towards my right hand side you can see emerging from the Zanskar range through the narrow gorge is the Zanskar river. Here you can see the confluence point of both the rivers, Indus being towards my left and Zanskar being towards my right, and you can see clearly, you can spot the difference between the color of the two river. The Indus river wears a greenish blue, something like you can call it's like a sedimented, not much sedimented for the Indus river. It's maintaining the flow and the pace since it's flowing through the mountainous terrains and the valleys. So Indus is kind of preserving the flow, and if you can actually observe the sound of the two river bodies that's mingling here at the Sangam point, you can see that this Indus river is not having that much of a sound of its flow. Okay, this towards my left hand side you can see here is the insignia of the bro. So the entire terrain, all the topography and all of these particular artificial things that are being constructed for the benefit of all the tourist people, these are all done by the bro border road organization. And towards my back side in this particular ghat you can see the mountain tops present here, and here are a few of the other bodies for the river rafting purpose. River rafting is quite common here. This river rafting thing, it takes place at a place called Chilling. It's around some 15-20 kilometers away from here. So they actually hire this particular raft and then go to that particular spot, and then they enjoy the river rafting thing. Now back to the Sangam point here. So now you can see how the Indus river, okay, is actually maintaining a more quieter look as compared to the Zanskar river. And if you see clearly here towards my right side, emerging from the gorge with a bend, meandering in its course, is the Zanskar river. The Zanskar river, it's actually more having a more width, higher width as compared to the Indus river. So you can see the point of the Indus river emerging from that side of the mountain. Anyway, all of these are part of the Zanskar mountain range, and the sound of the ripple water that you can see over here belongs to the Zanskar river. And if I'm going to descend down the steps, you can see over here how the waters are mingling with each other. You can clearly see the contour of the color difference between the Indus river towards my left side and the Zanskar river towards the right side. The Zanskar river wears a more turgid look. It's more like a sedimented water body. However, when the two different water bodies of different densities, specific gravity and velocities are actually mingling with each other, here there is a combined flow that is happening. So according to the law of the physics, when the Indus river is coming from the left side and the Zanskar river is coming from the right side, you can see there are two different distributed flows of the Zanskar river, because there is a bit of a sedimentation happening in the central part of the riverbed of the Zanskar river, as a result of which there are two different flows which are combining with the Indus river here. So here, if you can see in this particular ghat, this is still a Sindhu ghat because it belongs to the Indus river. So you can clearly see how towards the side that is nearer to me, you can see the greenish water of the Indus. Okay, it doesn't contain the sediments and the turgidity of the Zanskar river. And if you look a bit upper towards the Sangam point, there you can see how the Zanskar river waters are actually kind of overpowering the river water of the Indus river, and as a result of which, if you are going to inspect the looks of the confluence, you can see that the combined flow is actually having the color of the Zanskar river. So the thing is that why this is happening. So as per the law of the physics, whenever two water bodies of two different specific gravities are mingling with each other, so this particular color is a result of the wavelength that's being dispersed. So there is a thing called Raman effect in physics, and as a result of which the colors which are actually having more nascent color. So here in the Indus river, you can see that the greenish blue hue of the Indus river is actually a combination of only two colors, right? But as compared to that, the sediments laden water of the Zanskar river, they are having a more look of a brownish yellow ochre kind of a thing, more dirty green, you can tell it that way. And as a result of which, when the wavelengths of all of these particular colors of the Zanskar river are mingling with that of the Indus river, the final combined flow is having the sedimented look. Okay, you can see over here. Let me go a bit further down south so that I can show you how the river bodies are mingling. So here the Indus river is still maintaining its original look, and here towards my right side, the Zanskar river is having the dirty brownish kind of look. And finally, when they are mingling with each other, the combined river flow is actually having the final name as Indus, because you know that this entire river basin is that of the Indus river, with Zanskar being the left bank tributary of the Indus river. Now, few other details of this gorgeous Indus river. Unfortunately, we Indians are not fortunate enough to kind of realize the benefit of the Indus river due to the geopolitical reason, because as you know, due to the Indus river water treaty, India is not able to build any of the dams in this particular area. Okay, and if you see about the topography, about the land, about the terrain, about the geography, Indus has a lot of water velocity which any of this particular state or the central government should have utilized in order to empower some kind of a hydroelectric project, but that is not going to be, based on several environmental constraints and other geopolitical reason. But the good thing is that we are having the Zanskar river entirely in the Indian region, within the Indian territory, and Indus is actually originating near Manas Sarovar, which is in the Tibetan highland, and it's flowing through the Tibetan plateau. Okay, and it has its course through the Chamathang plateau, then it kind of goes towards the north side before coming to the Ladakh region. And here in this particular point is called the Nimmu village. Nimmu village is around 35 kilometers away from the city of Leh, and this is the Nimmu village where you can see the Sangam point of the Indus and the Zanskar. Indus has several other tributaries, a lot of them in our enemy country. I will tell both the enemy countries in China and Pak. And here in India, there are only few rivers which are actually mingling with the Indus river, and Zanskar being one of them. You can see there is a bit of a increase in the flow of the combined river water. Can you tell me why? This is because there is a bit of a slope, okay, that's actually increasing the speed here. Because if you see here, right, I mean, if someone goes down the riverbed and takes a look into the actual the slope of the riverbed, okay, when you actually go down the river, like let it be some 10 or 15 or 20 meters below, then you'll be seeing that the combined river water is actually having a more higher, steeper descent as compared to the Indus river here. Because the Indus is, you can see, like towards my nearer side, right, you can see the Indus river here, and the Zanskar is meeting that, and the Zanskar is suddenly maintaining the flow here. Okay, the speed is actually increasing a bit, and here you can see how the the colors of the river waters are actually changing for some time. They are actually having a kind of a contrast between the Indus and the Zanskar river, but finally they are bearing the color of the Zanskar river. Here is a bit of a foam and froth happening here because this particular region is not having the proper flow. Why? Because the surface tension for the combined flow and towards the Zanskar river is actually more high, as a result of which there is a bit of a backflow happening in the Indus river, and as a result of which, due to this particular pebbles and rocky terrain that you can see underneath here, there is a backflow thing happening, and this is happening that the entire river water is flowing towards my right hand side, leaving few of the water of the Indus getting into a circular motion and having the ebb towards my left side. You can see it's like a very picturesque kind of natural beauty. It's one of a kind in the India, and I would tell particularly in the Ladakh region. Okay, it's like it's a surreal feeling to present you this entire confluence point, the Sangam thing. You can see how the river waters are actually playing with one another. Okay, and I guess you are able to find how the confluence of the Indus and the Zanskar is actually maintaining the flow, and then towards my right hand side you have the final Indus river, okay, again maintaining its course. So if you look from my left side towards my right side, Indus is maintaining the trajectory. It's just that the Zanskar is coming from that side, okay, towards my front. Okay, you can call it as a northern side as compared to my current position, and as a result of which Indus is maintaining the flow. So we cannot call it as a Triveni, like how we have the Prayagraj where Ganga and Yamuna are meeting, or like if I'm going to call about few of the other few of the other Sangam points like the Devprayag where the Bhagirathi and the Alaknanda are meeting, or let's say in Rudraprayag where Mandakini and the Alaknanda are meeting. So there is like a Triveni, you can tell it, right? But here, since both of the rivers are having mostly the similar width, okay, and there is a bit of a speed difference and the texture and the contour of the river water, as a result of which the combined flow of the Indus after meeting with the Zanskar is actually having the color and the contour of the Zanskar river. The entire region is constructed by the Indian Army, so salute to them and hats off for their continuous dedication in service of the nation. The way they have transformed this entire Nimu village and the other adjoining areas of the Ladakh region is commendable, given that the harsh weather conditions and the environmental hazards that are there. With this, and presenting once more the view of the Sangam point of the confluence of the Indus and the Zanskar river, I'm signing off. Goodbye. Jai Hind.